Hi everyone, so today we're going to be changing oil on my 2018 911 Carrera GTS Porsche 911. Now the plan with lifting the car up is with the front we're going to do with the wheel dollies that we've got. And for the back we're going to use the trolley jack, that one right there, and on this side we're going to use some timber. Not ideal, but that's what we have to lift the car up. I wanted to get the quick jack, but at this point in time this is what is going to have to do with picking up the car. Now the oil that we're going to use is the Motul 300 power, which is a 5W40 oil. Now the filter is going to be the Mahle OX254, which is the OEM supplier for Porsche. Now I did order a man filter as well, which is a replacement for the OEM, but what I found is that the man filter does not have, as you can see, the man filter does not have this ring here that extends inwards. And I think that's for sealing the filter at the top and bottom. Now the man filter does have a little bit of extrusion, and I'm not sure how good of a job they'll do in sealing the top and bottom, so I don't want to take a risk. I do like the man filter a lot better because I feel that, well, to the touch, the filter element feels a little bit better than the OEM filter for some reason, but you know, this is the OEM. It's always the safe option, I guess, so I'm going to stick to that one for now. I'm going to put that away, not use it for now. Maybe in the future for a short term I might just use it just to see if there's a difference in the oil pressure with this filter. I do really want to try that out. I'm using the Motul 300, which is a motorsport line. It's a racing engine oil, ester core, which is the best oil you can buy, but the drain interval is really small, which is so because for the oil we're going to use the Motul 300, which does not last for 12 months. It is the best oil you can buy, or one of the best, at least one of the best oils that you can buy, but it's not recommended to run for 12 months. So I want to, because it's the first time I'm trying it out, I want to change the oil every 3 months, see how it comes out, do some oil analysis, and then decide to extend it to maximum of 6 months, but definitely not more than 6 months. I want to change the oil at least every 6 months. Perfect. So let's get started. Oh, for the tools, we're going to be using so that's a 36mm socket that I have, and you know that I know that's overkill because that's an impact socket. Don't need an impact socket to take the oil filter off, but that's what I've got, so I'm gonna have to use that one. For the torque wrench, the oil filter cap, we're going to be using the Warren & Brown split beam torque wrench. And how this works is you slide this slider up and down to the desired torque, and when it reaches the torque, so you kind of press this in first before you use it. When it reaches the desired torque, the slider touches that pin, which then releases this pin, making a noise and letting you know you've reached the desired torque. So the last time I did an oil change on the Range Rover, I needed a breaker bar. I don't have a breaker bar at this point in time. We'll have to use this thing, which will slide into the ratchet. It can be used as a breaker bar. But obviously, this is U-shaped. It's going to be a bit awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this thing off. Whew. There you go. We've just made a breaker bar out of something just lying around, and yeah, saved $100. What we're gonna do now is, obviously we don't want to get hurt with all this edges here, so we're going to smooth that out. Now we're just going to smooth it out using the finer wheel. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start with the filter first, because when you take the filter off, it drops some oil back into the engine, because we want to get all of the oil out, because we want to get as much of the oil out as possible. So let's get going. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the bonnet, so to speak. So we're now going to remove the plastic bit first, and then the fans, and then the top of the airbox. Now I've seen in some of the YouTube videos where people have raised the spoiler to be able to access the cover. But I don't think that's necessary. I think there's enough room to be able to take it off without having to lift up the spoiler. Alright, let's remove the plastic bit. First we have to remove this thing here that helps the rubber hold shape over here. And then we pretty much just basically pop it out. There's 4 on each side, so make sure we hear the clip. There you go. There you go, that's all done. So we just slide this out. Yeah, we just slide that out. like that. And now we're going to remove these two fans. First we've got to unplug them like so, and like so. Perfect. Now this thing, we just have to wiggle it out. Okay. So now we pop the fan out. That's the left side fan. As you can see, this thing has come off. I'm gonna see if it just pops back on or if I've broken it. It's lots of patience. There you go. So that's out. Now we take the fan out. And now the top of the airbox. Before we remove that, we're just gonna have to unclip this boot release cable thing. There you go, that's off. Now we're gonna check Now we're going to check if we've actually broken it or if it's just come off. Oh no, looks like it's just come off. I think it just oh yeah, just clips on. That's good. There's another part we don't have to order. Place it here just so. All right, and now we have access to the oil filter just here. We're gonna have to try and put some towels around just so the oil doesn't drip into the engine. So let's do that now. And we want to cover the airbox inlet as well, because we don't want any oil going in there, just in case. Perfect. We're going to take a 1/2-inch ratchet. I'm going to take the extension bar, 36mm socket, okay, so now that's loose enough for us to remove it by hand. We're just going to grab one more towel just to make sure it doesn't drip as we take it out. Some brake cleaner. Alright, we're now going to lift up the car. We're now going to put the new filter in. And for that we're going to need some oil, just to get some oil into the Now we're gonna take a little bit of this oil just to put it around the O-ring. Alright, now we're gonna use a bit of oil just to now this needs a bit of a force just to get it in. There you go, now it's in. Now we put the fuel filter cap back on. I mean the oil filter cap. Yep. Now it's properly threaded. Now we can bring out our torque wrench. We just need to set this up to, I think it's already at 25 Newton meters of torque. We're just going to verify. Yep. There you go, that's 25 Newton meters. What we're going to do now is we're just going to inspect to make sure that it's all the way in. Yep, seems good. Seems perfect. So the new oil filter's in, the O-ring is in. And now we're gonna plug the drain plug back in. Pretty much just clips on. There you go. It's all done. All right, it's time to put everything back together now. So we're gonna start off with the airbox. A bit dusty, but that's all right. This is pre air filter. All right, get these cables out of the way. Let's make sure that it goes back in where it's supposed to. There you go. Yep, I think that's all in. It's yep, that's definitely all in. That's good. Now we're gonna put the fans back on. So this is the right hand side fan. Get everything clipped in. And now we're going to pop this one in first. There you go. And then this one, we might plug it in before we pop it in. There you go. That's in, the connection's good. Yeah, perfect. Get this cable out of the way. There you go. It's all done. Now we're just gonna plug that in first, plug it in, and then pop it in. Now the last part, the engine cover. So good. We're gonna first slide it in here. There we go. Put this thing through first. All right, now the 4 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. That's good. Now we put this one back into its place. Maybe the top bit first. Then all right, now we come to the most important part, which is to put the oil in. Just clean up the funnel a bit. Use some compressed air to get any dust out. All right, here goes the good stuff. Just a background, I actually changed the oil in this car last week, and the reason I'm changing it again soon is because the car was serviced at the Porsche Center last time. They used what they use, which is Motul 1. Now, as far as I know, Motul 1 is a group 3 based synthetic oil, which is basically a mineral oil which has been hydrocracked. So it's a glorified mineral oil. What I'm using now is a group 5 based synthetic oil, which is the top of the range. And because I changed the type of the oil, I wanted to drive the car around for a week just to flush out all the Motul 1 oil out of the system. Oops. Get the seal off first. So we're going to put 8 liters of oil into it. It should be about 8.5 liters, but we're just going to do with 8 liters. Now this oil is not Porsche approved. It doesn't have the Porsche A40 approval that's needed for this car. But I've done all the research. This oil is top of the range, and it's far better than what Porsche recommends. And the only downside is I'll have to change it at least every 6 months. Well, I plan to change it every 3 months because I drive the car at high revs quite often. So that's not a problem at all. And the reason it can't be used for 12 months is this oil is not designed to be used long term. It doesn't have the additive package enough to last that long. Because it's basically a racing oil, which is designed to be put in a car, driven for an hour on track, and then change the oil. There you go. So that's about all. Put that away. Close the oil cap. All done. So that's the service all done. Porsche 911. Time to take it for a drive. Alright, time to go for a drive. Oil change now, already done it.